Well, let me welcome you to another one of Rosie's webinars. My name's James. I head up our sort of customer enablement and also our education. I do a whole bunch of YouTube stuff for Rosie. And most likely, if you've been using Rosie for a little while, you've probably seen me on a few little training videos. But let me welcome you to this webinar. We host our webinars so that those in Raisley can upskill in order they can create incredible campaigns and bring their fundraising to life. So if this is one of your first webinars, welcome. We've got a whole bunch of them on our YouTube channel, which you can check out later on, but really welcome if you are new. Now, I would love to know sort of who's out there as well. Sometimes when you do a webinar, you feel like you're speaking to a brick wall. So if you are on that, I'd love to know. Please reach out via the chat in which you can utilize. Would be great. Let me know you're here. Let me know maybe which charity or not-for-profit you're from, as I'd love to connect. And maybe even if you wanted to put in why was this webinar kind of interest for you as you've signed up. So do jump on, let me know. Also, if for some strange reason, hey, Michelle, lovely to see you. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Hannah. Hey, Joanna. Hey, this is great. We're seeing heaps of people sort of coming on through. I don't think I'm going to have time to look at all this webinar chat. This is brilliant. Now, just a quick heads up with all of our webinars. Just do note we do have a time for question and answer. We want to answer your questions in regards to this topic. And so you can use the Q&A feature in Zoom to enable that. Please post up questions as we go through, and I'll make sure there's moments through our session where we pause and go through those. Also, with our webinars, we do record these. These will be available up on our YouTube channel shortly after the webinar has ended. And that gives you opportunity to send it to your colleagues or to revise some of the stuff that we've been going through as well. Now, we do want to spend 45 minutes on today, and we're going to be sort of powering through because we've got a lot of content. But before we start, we always want to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land in which we work and live on. And that, for me, is the Awabakal people. I want to pay our respects to all elders, past, present, and future. As Raisley, we want to enormously always want to reach out to those in our community, particularly our First Nations in Australia. So thank you for joining us. Now, we're going to be diving into all sorts of different things, but all about communication. And what I want to be taking you through is a little bit around some sort of strategy or some high-level thinking stuff around how to utilize email marketing for your charity or non-for-profit. And we also want to spend a lot of time getting into the platform and showing you around and some little tips and tricks, because there are lots of them, and I really hope you learn a lot. With this webinar today, there's a broad range of people out there, which is great. But do know that there's some things that I won't go maybe as deep in, and there'll be some things that maybe I've gone too far on. So hopefully we've hit the nice sort of middle range of sort of where we're at today. But what we're going to be looking at is communication. And communication is important because for a number of reasons. Here's what we're going to be looking at. We're going to go why emails. We're going to look at email marketing solutions. We're going to look a little bit at time-saving features, creating brand awareness emails, and speaking to your audience. So that's kind of where we're going with this. But my first question really is, why on earth emails? Oh, this is a slide. If you're new to Raisley, welcome to Raisley. Make sure you do check us out, raisley.com. If you are new to Raisley, you're really super big welcome. But my question would be, why emails? And typically at the moment, it continues to be the consistent method of connecting digitally with the very audiences that we have. This is primarily driven because in most cases, when you are logging in or signing up or making a transaction to anything, it is your email that is basically the unique identifier that continues to be utilized, which means that it's a very natural practice for people to engage on emails still. Nothing's replaced it. It's still going very, very strong. What has improved is our email browsing clients, which has been great. But really, it's a natural interaction between anyone who has a transaction or signs up for something. And it's there we want to be utilizing. Now, if you haven't seen it already, there's a really good website to prove this on. It's called reallygoodemails.com, and I'd really recommend you go there. I can quickly show you some of it now as you go through. But if I go home, what you're going to see on this site is literally just a collection of all sorts of emails. Oh, let's refresh that. All sorts of emails that you can take inspiration from and ideally see where the benchmark is set for emails today. There's some exceptionally creative stuff that is done on email communication. There's some very sophisticated things done on email communication. But if you haven't checked out reallygoodemails.com yet, I totally recommend you do. It will give you some great inspiration as you go through that as well. So that's kind of why emails as a broad sense, but as a Raisley sense, why emails? Well, I'm not sure if you at the recent fundraising benchmark seminar that was a webinar that was done only like 2 weeks ago with Tom, our CEO, and Martin, who is our data analyst special head of data at Raisley. And that was just a brilliant webinar. If you haven't gone there, make sure you check it out after this. But going through the stats that Raisley collects over thousands of campaigns that are developed every year, we see a lot of data come through, and how that relates to emails is really interesting. One of the slides that I really enjoyed seeing was when it looked at where sort of the conversion rate on donation was. Emails still continue to be one of the great sort of avenues or sort of marketing channels that are going to lead to greater conversion. As you saw, direct email and web all have the highest in there, where it was your social media or your SEO sort of go through Google search that was far, far lower. So on a data perspective, investing in really good emails is enormously worthwhile, and it continues to be because the conversion of it is still quite up there. As you can see, 28% donated through emails after that. So totally worth looking at, just looking at the stats. But why emails? Because at the core of it, they are a natural interaction you have with people. And also we're seeing that the conversion sort of analytics that are coming are proving that it is still a tried and true method for it. Now, as again, why emails too? You have a great ability to be creative in emails. Emails today are heavily designed. You only have to look at your inbox or your spam box to see how good they can be. And so they do become a wonderful creative avenue as well to be able to just communicate a message. They do sort of are a great medium to carry along your brand as well. So there's all sorts of really cool things on emails. These are two of my favorite that I got through really good emails. As you can see there, this really, the first one really levels up that concept of a letter from a CEO, where we've got a far better design, but very, very clean in view. But also the other side of emails, where you're looking at the other one, where most of the content is very short form content, really, really pushing call to actions. And this is going to be a significant change in maybe what was development over emails. Emails today are very transactional. They're very call to action based. We still see many, many people create emails for fundraising campaigns, assuming the person will take the time and read. It's not an assumption we can make today. And so looking at short term is really, really going to be helpful as well. Thank you, Laura, for that. Yeah, the screen is a little bit blurry. I do apologize. See if we can get through it a little bit, but do let me know. I can share this on as well for you guys to see attached to the YouTube clip, so you can see the PowerPoint too. Now, over this time, that's kind of why we do emails. I want to get into the nitty gritty stuff. You probably know emails are already a good investment. It's why you're here as well. But throughout this little session, I just want to sort of throw in a couple of good email ideas to maybe you sort of add to your collection. And this is one of them, which I totally recommend that you do for fundraisers. It is, I refer a friend that there's a window of day 1 to day 3 of your fundraiser signing up, in which you can utilize for them to get another person signed up as well. No one typically likes doing events on their own. Having a teammate to be motivated by is a really, really good interaction. And so I would encourage you to look into a concept of having an email in your peer-to-peer campaigns that encourages early fundraisers to invite one of their friends to do it with them. A really, really good idea. You can have some really great effect, because if you can grow your network in a peer-to-peer, you can grow your return on investment as well. All right, we're going to go on to the next one, email marketing solutions. Now, this one comes up often because as I head up Built by Raisley, one of the questions we asked very, very early on is when it comes to your email marketing platform, what are you using and why are you using that one? Most people that I'm speaking to aren't really convinced that maybe the solution they have is the right one, or are still trying to work out how they ended up with the solution that they have. And so, really, from the experience of dealing a lot with our clients and for past experience, one of the things that I really want to encourage is find what you need, not what everyone else has. Um, Often, referrals are a great thing, particularly when it comes to software apps, because you're not sure. You're trying to try some different things out. Much of the time, though, you can maybe get a tool that you didn't actually need. That it was just what everyone else had, and you went along with that. Thinking through who is the person behind it who's going to be developing your emails is really where to start when you're looking at your email marketing solution. There are so many great ones out there these days. Some of them are a little bit like bringing a bazooka to a knife fight. Other ones are maybe too small or limiting to what you want it to do. So how do you sort of determine what to go through? There's kind of three main things I would look at if you're looking at an email marketing solution. The first is, can it send and track your email communication from coordinated listings? A coordinated listing is a list that you've developed, put time into from your database to develop and go, I want to be sending information to those people. That's really, really, really helpful. Jenny put a hand up. Jenny, if you do have a question, I'd love for you to put that just in the Q&A. That would be really, really great as well. Do people view highly designed emails more as spam, or do they get more clicks? We'll get to that in a moment, Emma, but really, really good question. I think really the quick answer to that is we want to be taking principles out of what's coming out at the moment. But in regards to your email marketing solutions, you want one that tracks and can send to coordinated listings. Another one is it enables creativity and your brand to be adopted. Many of sort of the early ones, you may have a bit of a struggle because it made us come with sort of payment sort of gates where if you don't pay the highest price, you get a whole bunch of their marketing content put into your emails as well, even if it is just their logo. So having ones that can enable creativity in your brand to be adopted is really important, and giving you the flexibility to be able to do that. And the other side is it can be integrated easily with your data capture platform. Why? So you can personalize. That is why in almost every email marketing platform, there is a pretty, the good ones, a decent CRM backend, a space in which you can actually store data to create these listings. And within those data things, you can create as many attributes as you like in there as well. That is all so that you can be personalizing your email content. What is interesting is sort of what CRM people are using as well. Many, many small not-for-profits at times get away with utilizing their email marketing solution CRM. Sometimes you want one that's maybe larger in regards to your CRM. You might be using Salesforce, for example, and you need a platform that's really easy to get your data out of and into your platform CRM, into your Salesforce CRM. And so making sure the email marketing solution that you adopt, you can easily integrate with your CRM, whether it's the one natively to your email marketing platform or it's an external one as well. So there's sort of the three things we really look at when looking at email marketing solutions. What we have found typically is that the medium level charity or non-for-profit can be utilizing Raisy's email marketing platform and absolutely kill it. Absolutely do really, really well in it. And there's a number of reasons why, and I'll go through that in a little bit. Raisy offers Raisy Pro. At the core of it, what that enables you is to level up the ability on your email platform. Raisy for every campaign comes with default emails, which are free, which you can be sending out. And that includes things like donation receipt, includes fundraiser welcome, and includes regular donation receipts, ticketing confirmations, and a couple little more in that. And every campaign comes with that. But if you're wanting to level up and actually start creating custom messages so that you can be interacting a lot more with your donors and your fundraisers, one of the big recommendations is consider Raisy Pro. Now, the reason for this is what we see a lot of our sort of partners do, and those particularly who work with Built by Raisy, is often they'll have two solutions. Many of them will also have something like MailChimp, Marketo, Marketing Cloud on Salesforce. And that will basically solve their mass marketing needs. That is something that their marketing team will work well on. They may have an EDM specialist within their team, and that is someone that works on mass campaigns through their email platform. What many are doing though, because so much of what the users in Razy are fundraising experts, fundraising managers, fundraising coordinators who have the amazing agility in Razy to create insanely good campaigns, putting a tool in their hands in order to be able to send some incredible messages that go along with their campaigns is really worth it. And we're seeing people go, I'll subscribe also to Razy Pro. Now, this is totally not a massive plug for Razy Pro, but it totally is a plug for Razy Pro, only because all the clients I see through Built by Razy ask me about it. And I really want to encourage you that if this is not something you've seen before, have a look. First off, it's dirt cheap at the moment. So do check that out at $89.50 a month for what you get. That's insanely good compared to other platforms. You can send unlimited emails through it. You got all supported management tools, segments, tags, journeys, are all there. I'm not so much cared about what it has in it. I want to work out how it helps you. Because if it doesn't help you, if it's just a product, you don't need it. All right. How it helps, it really looks at direct access to your data for personalization. If you're wanting your fundraising team to be agile, to be able to have a campaign that can send out quickly emails that respond to data, having that all in one platform is very, very convenient for them. Is it a necessity? No. Is it convenient and a huge time saver? Absolutely, it is. And now with the new Razy sort of email builder, to pull in personalization and merge tags to better utilize the data you have is even easier. So creating a new personalized message can be a snap and a breeze. So for me, at the core of it, that's why it's worth it, hands down. Second one, the all-in-one platform makes things faster and simpler. It absolutely does. And probably one of my favorite things, largely because this is what people tell us, is Razy supports all your marketing needs. That's insane. Our support team are incredible. We get some incredible comments from them, from our customers that like to speak to real human beings, and these people are wonderful, and these people don't treat them like IT fools. So to have that team on the back end to support your messaging as well, that's amazing. So that's at the core of it, how it helps. It really helps your fundraising team be exceptionally agile in what they're doing. And in today's day and age, that is absolutely needed to great success in your flash campaigns, such as peer-to-peers or giving days or appeals as well. So really recommended. I would look, typically when it comes to email marketing solutions, having two solutions is completely fine. Often you have one for marketing and then one for your fundraising team, or one that can be a bit more agile. And I think Razy Pro is a great fit for that. So do check it out. I'd encourage you. At the moment, it's on crazy discount. So just get people adopted into it so you can start trying it out. It's got a 1 month free trial as well. So dive on in, have a look. Really recommended. All right, let me give you another email suggestion. I know I'm punching through content here. We've only got 45 minutes and there's a whole bunch of stuff I want to be getting to as well. So after this bit, I will pause quickly for questions as well, just on those two things of why emails and also email marketing solutions. So if you've got a question, please get ready for it. Now, fundraiser and donors, here is a really good idea for your messages. The whole concept is part of your story. One of my questions would be, how do you capture whether or not the person donating or the person fundraising, whether their life is caught up with your cause? And one of the great questions that can come up in a form such as the donation form or the sign-up form is asking people, is such and such cause a part of your story? Is it part of your life? And you can have some different options on that. What you often find is at times it might not be, but there might be a few degrees of separation between that. But sometimes you find it's very, very personal to people why they donated or why they start fundraising as well. So to make sure you capture that piece of data in your fundraising form, or also you can capture that data in your sign-up form as well, is really important. But then what do you do with that data? And this is kind of the fun thing with messages, right? Whatever you capture, you can use. And so with that, why not the idea of just sending that really personalized email from the CEO or leadership team within your charity saying, hey, we want to empathize, we want to connect with you. No call to action, just a connection. And so I'd encourage you to look at this, because one of the things I'm really, really passionate about when it does come to emails is we come toward emails with a real human authenticity, a space where we want to actually make someone's a day a delight, not a transaction. And I really, really feel that if you invest in delightful interactions with people over time in a good strategy, that is where you're actually going to get the best conversion fruit down the track. Because one, you know them, and two, they start knowing you as well through delightful interactions, and you can build trust. So totally recommend you just have a crack at maybe capturing that data and utilizing it for some great messaging. Now, I'm just going to pause for questions and a Q&A time. So if you do have a question, please do be putting it into the chat there in the Q&A section. That would be really great. But in answer to Emma's question, do people view highly designed emails more as spam, or do they get more clicks? This is where really good emails will help you, because what you'll see a varied range of really designed emails, but then you'll see ones that are sort of far less designed. And so what you start looking at is the strategy behind it. One of the core strategies behind any email these days is content always serves a call to action. Information is being absorbed far faster these days. Everyone knows that. But it's incredible how many times people within their emails put so much information in such little type that, and they expect someone's going to read that and get to the very bottom. Really, short form content that's pushing them the call to action is where you're looking at. They're the emails that you want to be focusing on. Design wise, doesn't sort of matter. And if it goes to visual, plain text. Some of my favorite ones are from the Barefoot Investor. I get one because they give me choice of what I read, and two, they're just really clean and basically style. A lot of content in there, but they give me choice for it, and good subject lines. But yeah, don't shy off heavily designed emails. Look at them, work out why they did that. Is important. Another one, what is the age range with the stats on email engagement? Are younger generation Gen Z, young millennials engaging with emails much? Yeah, I'll totally encourage you to check out the stats that, say, HubSpot put out every year in regards to that. They are a really good sort of base level for finding some of the stats in regards to age range. Age is a kind of an interesting one. Within Raising, a lot of people won't capture age. Date of birth is still considered a very private field to be capturing. But it would be very interesting to be looking at emails. Again, I point it back to the why email section. Doesn't matter how old you are, you need an email to sign up for anything. So if you answer that and look at, say, the youth who have the more apps on their phone, youth likely will. How do they get those apps? They have to utilize, in most cases, they're going to utilize their email address. They're going to continually see that email is a relevant tool to be utilizing for access to things. Yes, there's some two-factor authentication shortcuts and all that kind of stuff, but email is still significant as a unique identifier for most people. So yeah, they are still pushed into this habit. They buy something, they get an email. It is still a natural human interaction that people are having with them. So don't disregard it from the younger generation. When you, another question is, when you mention delightful interactions, how does this compare with call to actions that are built on crisis or emotional stories? Yeah, that's a great one. I've got a point a little bit later that really call to actions are from emotions, not from information. And that's one of the things you do need to be looking at with your email content. That one of the things you want to be looking at is, what emotion am I conveying to someone in order that they would go, oh, I want to explore more. And where would I do that? I'd go through my call to action to do that. So click the button and away I go. It's the concept of trying to sort of give people a lot of information in one point. You're way better off sort of just tracking them and pushing them. And as soon as they click on something, you've tracked interest within Raisely as well. So I think one of the things I want to be looking at is, I wrote down before, is that the principle somewhat is emotion moves toward call to action rather than information moves toward call to action. It doesn't mean you limit information or make information or overly emotionalize things that aren't generally there. The key word's authenticity. But emotion is helpful. And how you convey that? Through all sorts of great things. Absolutely, writing does convey emotion. One of the things I do want people to have a look at is investing in some great animated GIFs. Why? They convey emotion. So a really, really helpful thing there as well. And I'll show you some stuff as we go through. So great questions. Fire some more on when we pause for questions in the next time. Time savers. Haha. Now we're going to get very, very coolly and into it with Raisley. Time savers. Shortcuts mean more time to think about what you say. That's why I'm all about efficiencies. Raisley's not just committed to the platform being intuitive, but also building in efficiencies for you so that you have time to spend on the things that are really important. Why do we want incredibly good fundraising campaigns that automate? The main reason is so you can call people and connect with them and hang out with people that go to your events. That's why we do it, which is awesome. So it's really to spend more time on the things that reinforce human connection. So time savers are great. And here are a few of my favorite that I would totally recommend. So the first is develop a campaign environment with templates, as it's a one-click time saver. The reason for this, and let me show you, is this is my Raisley Learning account. And as you can see, I've got a bunch of lovely, good templates. Now, this classically is the recommended for charities, that when you go into Raisley, that you've got a bit of a suite, a bit of an environment of campaigns that you then can utilize through. So on here, you can see I've got a website that's going to be taking donations, probably my regular donations as well. I've got a community hub campaign, which is doing the DIY fundraising, the in memory, the birthdays, really those ones that stops people calling you and asking you whether you fundraise or not, or whether they can fundraise for you. It's just a community hub that you can take them to. So there's sort of the evergreen campaigns that we have there. But then we've got the flash campaign templates, and that would be a great peer-to-peer template that you've created. It would be a flash appeal campaign template that you've created for giving days and things like that. You'd have a general event template, a campaign template, just for those one-off events, and maybe your sales team can look at utilizing those as well. But also, lastly, a really good appeal campaign template that you may just use annually as it sort of goes through as well. So I'd encourage you, when you look at Raisley, to be thinking through creating an environment in Raisley, which hopefully will just serve you a lot better in regards to making things faster. Now, how does this relate to messages? Simply, if you create a major message library in each of these, whenever you go in Raisley to duplicate, so say, for example, on the peer-to-peer, and I go to duplicate this campaign, what's it going to do? It's going to duplicate all your messages as well. That is a huge, huge time saver for you. If you're utilizing great templates that you've designed to be created for your organization with good footers and all that kind of stuff, and then you go to duplicate it, it's going to carry those settings to your new one as well. So really, really big encouragement there to be creating a really cool little fundraising environment. Reach out to Built by Raisley if you haven't got this, so we can set that one up for you. The other one would be use email journeys. It's a great way to start and evolve your campaigns. Now, within Raisley Pro, a really cool feature recently came out. And if we go into messages, what we're going to be seeing here is a little button here that says add new journey. Now, typically what journeys are in Raisley, they're folder structures that you can be putting different messages in as you go along. But with one trick, what Raisley recently released was these here, which are journey templates. Now, if you have Raisley Pro, these are accessible for you. A journey template is a curated list of emails for a particular audience that Raisley is designed for you to give you a head start. So you can now dive in here, simply go add journey, select appeal campaign update, and already it's going to give you 3 great emails. You'll see the journey and how it works that you can use as your base to work from. This is a really good shortcut. And if you haven't got Raisley Pro, I'd encourage you to at least look at it for a month, just so you can have a bit of a squeeze of what the journeys have got going on. One of my encouragements would be as well, let us know what journeys you'd like to see. We've put 3 up there. There are so many more than that. Let me give you an example. If you head over to our support documents, There's an article here for 8 ideas for your peer-to-peer email journeys. If you just Google this, you'll find, and you can go through and you can find 8 great new ideas that you can be putting into journey folders. You've got the settings for it, and you've also got all the content that will develop for you as well. And I'll come back to that a little bit in a moment. But utilizing journeys is a brilliant way to get started in Razorly messages by adding new journeys. Tell us if you want more, but putting them into nice, neat folders is going to help you as well. So big encouragement there. Other time savers will be row templates will be a good friend. Now, I'm obsessed with the new email builder for a whole bunch of different reasons. But if I go into my, say, donation receipt, for example, and I'm going to go down to add your content, you can see here I've got the message in my donation receipt message. Now, I'll show you a cool trick if you haven't seen it yet. There's a little window icon at the top left-hand corner of this that's going to turn it into full screen. This is going to just give you a much better preview to see what's going on in your email and make it. So a lot of people just don't see those little features. Check it out. You'll want to be using this. But what you can do down the bottom here is if I select the row, I've got a little save option on there as well. And if I save that, what it's going to do, it's going to give me a little option to save, which is great, and I can just save that through. But then if I go back out here and I select rows, I've actually got that template now saved, that little row saved in there, and I can now drag that over and it's in there straight away. Utilizing row templates, the reason it's amazing is because it's global. It will work across every single one of your campaigns. And so if you design a great footer that you want on other messages, then this is a really good shortcut, because when you're developing your messages, it will appear in there under your templates and you just drag and drop it. So really good things for just developing that brand consistency on how you utilize your messages. And so a really big recommendation to be utilizing this feature. It is really good. It is a huge time saver. So get stuck into it. The other one would be AI tools can get you off to a great start, but they can't get you to the finish line. AI tools are brilliant for all sorts of different reasons. In email's case, they are a great copywriter to an extent. What they can give you is they can give you a real start on when you've got maybe a little bit of creative block. As I sort of said before, email content you want to be short. Email content is not there to be super long. And so utilizing AI to develop some things and sort of get some feelings out there and try and experiment with some AI tools, ChatGPT, go for it, is absolutely worth an investment in there, because it can really help you when you've got writer's block or creative block to just start. Now, it's interesting. Within Built by Razorly, one of the things we do is we build a foundation for people before we start evolving it and putting all the copy into it. That's a sort of creative process where I find really helpful. I work a lot better by already having an idea sort of pinned down and some broad strokes in there, and then I can then evolve that out and make that what I want it to be. So if you go back to our Razorly support and go to this article here, 8 ideas for peer-to-peer email journeys, all the content in here started out from AI-generated content. And it was AI-generated content, and then me going, do you know what? I'm going to bring some of my nuance and intuitiveness into this as well. So your intuition is super needed with AI tools, but they give you a wonderful start, and it's really recommended. So in regards to time savers, let me totally recommend these. Set up an incredible campaign environment in Razorly. It will save you so much time down the track when you're doing it. Let's just go back. Yep. Invest in this. This is a huge time saver for all sorts of reasons, but for your messages is really good. The other one I encourage you on is user email journeys. Sign up for Razorly Pro, utilize the journeys, and let us know what journeys you'd like us to create over the next month. We'd love to create some more for you. Use row templates because they're a huge time saver, and also AI tools can be very helpful as well. So there's some time savers for you. Hopefully you've gone in there. Now, I've got two little emails here. I just want to quickly show you in regards to one of the things of going to really good emails is getting a bit of a benchmark of where sort of modern sort of email design is at the moment and taking some inspo from that. The great part about using the Razy message builder is you can do all sorts of different things. If you wanted to recreate emails that look like this, you can totally do that. For example, if I go into my appeal campaign and go to messages, and go to get creative, I've actually copied an email from one of my favorite brands, which is a cycling brand, of course, called Rafa. Now, as you can see on the email, I've got great GIF animation running through. This GIF is 3 point something megabytes. So you do want to make sure if you do put GIFs in there, that they're as small as you can possibly compress them down into. And you may need some software to do that. Because GIFs can be really big if you're not careful. I also use one called easegif.com, ezgif.com, to create GIFs. It's a really cheap, easy way to create GIFs. Just upload a few images in. Notice here that the width of this is 900, but on an email, it's going to fix itself to 600 pixels wide. 600 pixels wide for an email is standard for it too. And as you sort of go on down, you can see that I've done a few things. First off, use Helvetica as the basic heading font, which is a really clean, very crisp, very presentable font for email, loads very fast. And I've also used more of a sort of a serif font for the text in here. Got a nice little call to action with a button that's really clear to read, and I've got my little Razy footer, right? Something like this is not often what we see from fundraisers. What we see is just a lot of text. What this is conveying, first off, it's creating for you emotion. And that's what I want to sort of come back to. What GIFs and animation do is they spark something different than what's just cognitive. And so an investment in great GIFs can be a really worthwhile, because this is pushing me to emotionally connect with something visually, and it's pushing me to a call to action that's going to come alongside that. Subliminally, I'm pushed to look at this call to action. So good encouragement is to utilize images. Even better, invest in a great icon set can be really helpful as well. So there's hopefully some interesting things that you can look at this and all the things you can actually do in Razy. You can do so much in there as well. Did I mention that the new email builder is totally mobile responsive too, and it's insanely good in setting it up for mobile? Let me just quickly show you, is if I go into this and I go to the mobile settings, I can see exactly what it's going to be looking like for mobile. And from that, I can make adjustments in that. I can make a new font size that's just going to be for mobile only, which is really cool. So you've got heaps of flexibility when it comes to sort of doing some mobile design. So quick little plug, really cool little email builder. Enjoying very much building them. Now, let's go on to the next one. Lastly, celebrating your brand. Actually, I don't think it's lastly, almost lastly. I've got 5 minutes. We're totally going to go longer than 5 minutes. But I'm going to punch through this really quick. Celebrating your brand is exceptionally important. And one of the things I want to reinforce is there's some really simple methods that you can do for your email communication. That's going to mean that when you land in someone's inbox, they know it's from you. And so I'd really encourage you to have a look at this as well. First off, your footer does matter. What we see often is that people are not putting footers anywhere in their design. Having a nice footer, which you are replicating for every single one of your emails, presents trust and authenticity that's from you. Real encouragement to do this. Save as a row template. Use it every time for every email as well. And invest in it. It's one investment to start with, and you just replicating it over and over again, but it is going to create trust. Second one, invest in your unique iconography. Icons go far further than images will, because they don't rely on subjectivity as much as an image does. You can also do some really cool animation stuff with a great icon set. You can also use icons for all of your website content as well. So if you have not invested in a really good icon set, I totally recommend you do that. If you want some free ones to start, check out the Noun project. Really great place to just go to have a bit of a look through around what icons you could possibly have. But invest in an icon set, because they can do a lot for your emails. Next one, a GIF. GIF stands for great if. So great if done well. A GIF done badly just looks tacky. But animations create interest, but your content needs to be interesting to convert. All right. Yes, an animation's good, but if your content's not interesting, you won't convert. So just be thinking through that before you get too creative. And that's GIF, great if. All right, done well. Next would be emotion to action, not information to action. As I sort of said earlier, these are going to be really pushing your brand. Your footer matters. Invest in an icon set. Animation does create interest, but your content needs to. And emotion. Think through emotion. What is your brand saying? What is the brand? What is the emotion you're looking to convey? Not the information you're looking to convey. Information will come from that picture before that as well. So yeah, big encouragement there. The noun project, not the noun concept. The noun project. No worries, Emma. All right, regular givers. Here's another quick one. I'll find it through. Regular givers. Focus. Make a list in Raisely. Sign up for Raisely Pro. Use segments. Use tags, and create amazing segmented lists that you can email to. Possibly on focusing on those who gave just greater than $40 or donated multiple times. Both things that you can pull out of your data in Raisely. And for those people, invite them to a regular giving amount ask. You can actually dynamically pre-fill in the amounts in the links so that if they gave $40 in that campaign, that's what you know, you can have it come into that when it goes to your regular giving space. It's a little bit seamless, a little bit clever, and you're already pitching that person. That's kind of an achievable amount, maybe for them as a regular giver. But regular giving messages are so good post peer-to-peer campaigns. If you've got all these donors who have been integrating with you through a peer-to-peer campaign, stop for a sec, focusing on the fundraisers. Think about the donors. Push them through. What's their next experience going to be with you? Could it be regular giving as well? So a big encouragement is to utilize a great listing through segments in Raisely, also tags. So you can sort of really look at, the reason I picked it at $40 is if you look at our fundraising benchmarks webinar, check it out, have a quick squeeze there as well after this. All right, personalization. I want to power through this because this is a really, really big topic, but I want to give you some helpful things to start. Hey, Debbie, thank you for raising your hand. I'm sorry I can't sort of do the hand things. If you are looking to ask something, please just put it in a question. That would be brilliant as well, or in the chat. Now, in regards to personalization, a name goes a long way, but what if you could go even further than that? If you capture it, you can use it. And so if in your forms, your donation form, your sign-up form, your lead form, if you capture that information, you can then move ahead to use it. So here are some interesting sort of ones that a lot of people don't capture that I recommend you look into. First, capture postcode. Most people don't mind giving up their postcode because they don't feel like it locates them. And it's really helpful when you're wanting to run an event down the track and wondering where should we do that event if you have it in multiple locations. Capturing postcodes is super simple. Next one, capture pronouns. It respects those you connect with. And so I'd really encourage you to collect pronouns. Second one, collect the proximity to the cause. Like we spoke about earlier, it helps judge you where they're at with the journey with you. Do they even know you? Are they really well invested in you? What's their proximity? What's their closeness to the cause that is there? And so have a field in which you can be capturing that information. Marketing opt-in respects their data collection. Yes, opt-in. Now, don't confuse this with permission to send them emails if they've been donated to a campaign or if they've a fundraiser, right? If they've interacted with your campaigns, you can email them, that's fine. But if you're looking to collect their data to use as mass marketing content down the future, or even use that data through other companies, then you must be putting a marketing opt-in. Yes, in Australia, we're a little bit slow on best practice globally, but opt-in, not opt-out for marketing content. It respects data collection. Next one is first time. Remember that some may be new to intentional giving. Sometimes you find that people have given for the first time, and this is a great one to start interacting with your younger donor base. If you don't know that they're the first-time donor, you may have missed out on a huge opportunity with them as well. So I'd really, really do encourage you to get stuck into there to be looking at recording. Is it their first time giving? Is it their first time fundraising at all? Really helpful. And lastly, would you be interested? It just plants a seed to the next campaign. It's a simple checkbox. Would you be interested to hear about such and such? Would you be interested if we gave you a buzz? It's a really low-hanging fruit one that people go, why not? And you can always make it a opt-out rather than opt-in as well. But I think respecting your audiences, which I'm major on, I'd much rather be an opt-in, not an opt-out. But it helps plant a seed for your next campaign. That's going to be really helpful. So first off with personalization, if you've captured it, you can use it in Raisely. And that's the major thing what you want to be looking at. Now, how on earth do you use it in Raisely? Quick little lesson. In Raisely, everything's been caught under a user profile. If you donate, if you sign up, if you enter a lead form, you create a user profile in Raisely. So if you go into Raisely, you'll be able to just easily see. Let's jump out of here. Okay. Under people, right? It's automatically going to create these people in there straight off the bat, already all in there, which is terrific. So it's going to create a user profile, and that's going to be permanent. So every time someone fills out a user field, such as name, first name, email address is typically locked in. It's what it will do, it will override that user information because there's one user account for everyone, right? So if you put information in there, consider that information will be updated if they've interacted with you a few times and changed different information, such as postcode. But what is interesting is that you've also got flexible categories of data as well. The three of them. First is donation, second is profile data, and third is ticket data. Now, these are the three different interactions you'll have with people in Raisely. Typically, someone's either going to be donating to you, so therefore the donation data that you capture gets locked into their donation record, right? You can then use that data. Next would be profile. So your profile data is if someone signed up and used a sign-up form to create a peer-to-peer experience, a fundraising campaign themselves. And then thirdly, you've got tickets. Tickets is when someone orders something. It creates a ticket order for them that is isolated too, which you can be putting information in. Now, just be warned, ticket information is probably the most limited to use the data with. Profile data and donation data are the most flexible to use information with. So if you've captured it if you need information that sort of continually gets evolved but not overridden, thinking through how it could be captured in a donation or the profile data is really, really helpful. So for example, if someone is involved in two different companies and you want them to sign up for a peer-to-peer under both companies, well, they may create two profiles, but if you put that company name in the user field, it's just going to override that. But if you put the company name in the profile data, because it's creating multiple profiles under one user, it means that you now actually have the ability to see that they're involved in two different companies because it's in the profile data. And from that, you can use that data as well. So bit of an understanding of data structures, because if you've captured it, you can use it in Raisely is the concept. Before I answer one more question, I'm just going to get to this. This little section is a game changer, and it's amazing how many people don't know it's available there. Within all your emails, you're going to have a call to action button in there, and what you put in that call to action button in most cases goes to the web page. Now you can utilize merge fields to help with this. Now the most basic merge field is 2 curly brackets with campaign.url. What that's doing is looking at the campaign information and getting the URL from that. That's just going to take people to the primary URL of your campaign. So a very simple merge field to put into a button, 2 curly brackets, campaign.url. Cool. Let's level that up. Say, for example, they're a fundraiser. You want to take them to their profile page. Super. You do 2 curly brackets, campaign.url, then open another 2 curly brackets and put profile.path. What that's going to do is going to take them, say, if I signed up for a fundraiser, it'll take me to raisely.com/James-Stinson. It's going to take me straight to my profile because I've utilized that merge field in there. Now to level up one more time, and this is a game changer. How would you take them to their dashboard but automatically log them in? what you could use is, again, curly brackets campaign.url/dashboard, because that's the page you want to take them to. But if you put a question mark, access token equals profile.user.access token, if you're sending it to fundraisers, that link will automatically sign them in. That means that one, if they ever need to fill out another form, it's going to pre-fill their user information. It's also just going to log them in, so they don't need to worry about their password. You're not taking them to a login page. This link is a game changer. So if you're looking to personalize, having this information, having that link in there that takes them to their account is really going to help. Just on top of that, within Raisely, you've got some incredible features now you can utilize for personalization. If you go to messages, they get creative. You've now got this really easy way to look at your different fields. So let's open this up. And if I wanted to put in a new field, which is a merge tag, and utilize the data I have, I can simply select merge tags. And from this one, I've got campaign data, donation data, or profile data. And from these, I can be looking through the different ones that are there. Now, just be aware, if you've created custom fields, these are going to be under public or they're going to be under private. So just make sure you do see those as well that are available there too. So if you've got custom fields, they're going to be under public or private as well. So here is a great way, say campaign goal, if you just want to put it in, and it's automatically going to give you that merge field available. So to find merge tags is even easier now to personalize some things in regards to that. So hopefully that's some helpful things that you've been seeing there. A couple of other email solutions that may be helpful as well. Post-campaign impact email, if you haven't inquired about those, have a look into those. Sending donors and fundraisers, celebrating impact, inviting them to the next thing is helpful. Another one, opt-in daily reminder. Maybe in a peer-to-peer, what you want to give is a checkbox to say, would you like a daily reminder for when your fundraising starts? Not a bad idea, particularly if it's short-term for a fundraiser as well. And what about birthday offer? If you can capture date of birth somehow, right, you can make an offer and make a promise to people that if you put your date of birth in there, that we're going to sort of reach out to you at that point, share with you impact, but even better, why not create them a fundraising profile page that they can use for their birthday? So in the email, the link that says, hey, click here to access your profile page. You can just go, you can grab this. You can use this to share to your friends on your birthday. And instead of taking presents, you can get donations instead. That's super easy to do. So consider birthday offer concept in there where you've pre-created a profile for them, you're linking that through, and you can send them as well. So there's a little idea for you. Take it or leave it, see how you go. All right, I've talked so much today. It has been great exploring this topic. I hope you can sense somewhat that I love emails. I think they are great. I collect my favorite ones, and they are a really great source of communicating. So I really encourage your investment in there. Let me go through some of the questions that are in there before we just finish up as well. So does Raisely work as a CRM in itself? How does this marry with data in a pre-existing CRM? It's a really good question. Raisely is not a CRM. What we call it is a supported management platform. The reason for that is Raisely is built to enable fundraisers to do all the interactions that they need to do in order to maximize fundraising and donations. And so fundraising management. What a CRM can do is probably take that further, largely because in most cases it utilizes sales tools in there as well. No worries, thanks, Susan. It utilizes sales tools. Can Raisely be a great place to store your data and use it? Absolutely, it can be. Absolutely, it can be. A CRM is used for three things: data collection, personalization, and sales. The first two, Raisely does really well. So the third sales one that you may want some other solutions for that we would recommend, that Raisely is not really built for it. But Raisely can be an incredible place if you're starting out as a charity or if you're a mid-sized charity and you're needing a CRM. I often find it actually is a lot cleaner than some of the other alternative CRMs that are out there. I'm a little bit also sort of sold on the concept that if you don't have the money to invest in a really good CRM, just use Raisely, because the other alternatives are really poor. And so you can do so much in Razor. I totally recommend it. So anyway, there's an encouragement in regards to CRMs. If there's any other questions, do put them in. I'm seeing some thank yous. I've taken your time this morning. Thank you so much. I see it as a huge privilege, you guys actually being in this. So thank you so much. If you have a look here, if you want to check out Razy, please, I do encourage you to just scan the QR code if you can. If you're not watching on your mobile, no worries. Thanks, guys. Check it on your mobile and book a demo in with this. If you're new to Razely, I cannot overemphasize this product's phenomenal. It is so good and it will change your fundraising forever. So please invest in it, check out a demo, reach out to us. A couple of things to just look out for. Do go to our support guys for some help. Do go to our YouTube channel because we're putting a lot more content up on that soon as well. If you are needing help building your campaigns and getting a start, please do check out Built by Razely, as our team is there to help really get you off to the best foot in regards to your campaigns as well. So there's all sorts of things going on. We will put this webinar up online so you can be watching it. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to reach out to support@razely.com. But until next time, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, guys. See ya. See you guys. Oh, there's so many thank yous. This is brilliant. No, I love this. Thanks, Rebecca. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Serena. Thanks, Paige, for joining us. No worries. Very informative. Great. I'm glad you took away some things in this. I'll make sure I put the PowerPoint slide up. No worries, Andy. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. And guys, we'll see you in our next webinar. Have a wonderful day. Bye.